Hello, friends. Okay, by now you have been writing some excellent realistic fiction books. If not realistic fiction, that's fine. Um, but I want you to have at least 1 to 2 realistic fiction books. The rest can be straight fiction, and I'm okay with that as long as you're writing every day. Um, we are going to talk a little bit today about using checklists to help us set goals and to help us think about what we're doing well with our writing and what we need to work on next. So let me show you a little bit. I'm going to switch to a different view here. Okay, so writers, you guys I want you to think about what are you doing well and what do you want to work on next as you're using your checklists to help you. Now, there are 3 different checklists. I'm going to show you 2 of them today, and you can have mom or dad or grandma and grandpa print these off for you. I have the link in this here, and then but I've also sent it to them before, but the link here will be the easiest, and we can hopefully have those printed off for you today. You can use them. Okay, so let me show you. Sorry, I get like all caught up looking at myself in here because I feel like I look really weird. And so I'm debating if I want to stop and re-record, but I'm just gonna go with it because you know what? You guys have seen me be a human, right? And make little mistakes and be kind of silly and forget what I'm saying and all of those things that come with old age, right? Right? Yes, you have. So you guys are just gonna cruise along with me like you normally do. Okay, so this is a great checklist for a beginning writer. So that's some of my kindergartners. You'll be using this checklist. If this checklist feels the best to you, you are welcome to use this, but it is a kindergarten level checklist, okay? So let's go through this together just so everybody can see it, and then I'm hoping that you can do this on your own because the idea is that you go back through your book, you read your story, and then you check off these things as you go. And the things that you need to work on, you circle, and because you still have to do it, okay? So the first one says, I can read my writing. That's a very important one, right? You have to be able to read your own writing. That's why it's so important that you don't ask for help all the time, because those words are not going to be your own words, or they're going to be spelled differently than what you would do to spell them. And I want you to be able to read your writing because I want to have a publishing party. I want you guys to be able to publish your books. I know. Doesn't that sound cool? We can do it. We can do it on one of our class meeting times. Yeah, it'll be really fun. Okay, so make sure you can read your writing. If you can, good. Check it off. Okay. The next one says, I wrote a letter for each sound. So this one's really important when you're looking at your words. Did you sound out your word? And do you have a letter for each of those sounds? If not, you can go back and work on that. You can circle it if you still need to work on that, or you can check it off. Let me show you. It's so fun to check things off. I have a lovely blue pen today. So yes, hopefully yes. Okay, I used the word wall. Now I put a word wall. I printed one off for you guys. So you have all of those sight words, all of those snap words that you're supposed to know by heart by the end of the year. That should be in that folder. If you didn't get a folder because you weren't there, that's fine. I will also put a link to those snap words again so that you can print that, because that's super important to have that snap word list when you're writing, and always have it in your writing space. Okay, yes, we use the word wall. I put spaces between my words. Spaces, finger spaces. Yeah. Okay. Check it off. I used, this one. It's very important to me. And I even still see second graders that are still writing uppercase letters all the time, or uppercase letters in the middle of a word. Oh my. No, 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 no. Only when they're needed. And capital letters go at the very beginning, the very first letter of a sentence, or if it's a name of something or a place, like a name of a place or a name of a person. Okay, so I'm gonna go, that's something that I know a lot of you need to go through and work on. So say I needed to work on that, I would circle it. And that's gonna be a goal for me to work on. Okay, the next one says, okay, never mind. I wrote capital letters to start every sentence. Okay, we're gonna go back and check. Great. I put a period at the end of every sentence. Great. I'm sure you did that. Periods are fun. Start using them if you have not. Okay. Now we have another checklist. Now this one is, up here it says grade 1, grade 2. So this is a great example or a great tool to have when you want to feel like you want to see what the difference is between first grade and second grade. Right? Now this says narrative writing because this is the best checklist to go with realistic fiction, because in realistic fiction, we are writing a story that could really happen, which is very similar to our personal narratives when we did small moments in personal stories. It's very similar to that, except your character is fictional and the story is fictional. But that's okay. The checklist still works for that. So I'll read through these. I'm going to zoom in a little, see if I can get the cool zoom. Oh, yeah. Okay, so I'm going to go through this kind of fast because I don't want to be taking up too much of your time. Nova's having dinner right now. Okay, so grade 1, it says structure. So overall, I wrote about when I did something. That's an easy one, right? You wrote about a story about a person that did something they did. Okay, so you could either check not yet, starting to, or yes. Most of you, all of you, hopefully will write, check off yes. I tried to make the beginning. I tried to make a beginning for my story. Okay, we worked on beginnings, right? And if you, hopefully you all have a beginning. That's an easy one to check. Check it off. Yes. I put my pages in order. I used words such as and then and so. Now look at over here. Something a little elevated, a little bit more challenging. Words such as when, then, and after, right? Those order words. Do you remember when we did the lesson on order words? Yes, yes, very important. Okay, this one's about ending. I found a way to end my story. A little bit elevated. I chose the action, talk, which is dialogue, feeling that would make a good ending. Okay, so this is adding in something like we talked about with Gretchen, right? And we added in at the end where her mom calls her in, right? And we added in some dialogue there at the very end of our story. Yeah, really helps, okay? I wrote my story across 3 or more pages, hopefully, right? Hopefully it's not just on one page. Same thing kind of for second grade. Okay, I put the picture from my mind onto the page. I had details in pictures and words. Okay, so that's really important. When you do your touch and tell and then your little sketch on each page, yes, it's very important to have really nice pictures and to have details, especially if you have a little bit fewer words to your story. It's really good to have those labels on your pictures and have your story kind of be told through your pictures. Okay. For second grade, I tried to bring my characters to life with details, talk, and actions. Again, dialogue, and making your characters move in your story, right? Having them like doing something with their bodies is really cool. I used labels and words to give details. Great, just like we talked about. If you have not done any labels, and you're in first grade, or some of you kindergartners will be using this checklist, right? You know if you're ready, you know. And if you want to just try it out and see if you're ready, then great, do it. I'm all for that. I love when you advocate for yourselves and you guys take the responsibility on your own to challenge yourself and to do something a little extra. You know I love that. Okay. And then, ooh, let me get straightened out here. Okay, the next one, I used all I knew about words and chunks of words to help me spell. Okay, go back, look at those hard words, really sound them out. Find chunks of words that you know, make sure that those chunks of words are in there. Slide your finger, use your word wall, all those things. I spelled all the word wall, oh, took it right out of my mouth. I spelled all the word wall words right and used the word wall to help me spell other words. Okay, great. Now I wanted to show you one more thing because my story with little old Gretchen here, little old Gretchy. All right, so I added some stuff to my story and I want to show you the flap because some of you are so excited to do this. So Gretchen heard a noise, peep, peep, caw, peep, peep, caw. Ooh, what is that? She thought. She crouched by the path. It was a fierce bird. Ooh, fierce. Sparkly? I think so. Boop, 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 boop. That's fun. I like doing that in my writing. Gretchen felt afraid. I'll be brave, she thought. She scooped up the bird in her sweater. Now, it went from here, she scooped up the bird in her sweater, to Gretchen hid her head in her hands. Crack, she was cold. So I kind of feel like I missed something in there. I think I was like moving on in my story, but there's a chunk that I kind of missed, and I feel like my readers would have been like, whoa, wait a second. They would have a lot of questions. So I went back and I thought about how could I connect those two pieces, those two pages. So what I did was I just cut out a flap, right? I took a piece of paper. This was a piece of paper. I just cut it up and I taped it on and I wrote more. And it said, she could hear the thunder smashing. Ooh, good sparkle word, Miss L. Thanks, guys. She could hear the thunder smashing into the clouds, or in the clouds. She saw the dark clouds moving in, so she decided to climb into her treehouse. That's how she got up into that treehouse. Now she's in the treehouse. Okay, this makes sense. Gretchen hid her head in her hands. Crack, she was cold. That's okay. I don't need to read you the rest. I will read you the rest. You guys love my story, so I will just continue on. Then the storm passed. Gretchen's mom yelled, Gretchen, come in and get dry. I made hot chocolate. Ooh, I forgot some quotation marks here. I started it, right? Right where Gretchen's mom started talking. I'm going to put quotation marks and then write what she said in between the quotation marks. So I have one quotation mark here and one quotation mark here. Okay, it's like the beginning and the end of what she said. Also, did you notice I didn't use the word said? I used the word yelled. Makes it way more interesting. If you have the word said over and over and over, use that. I have another thing that you can print that's very helpful. I have put it in here. If you cannot print these things, let me know because I will mail them to you. Yes, I will print them here and I'll put them in the mail because they're so important for you to have. Okay, Gretchen climbed down the treehouse. She felt safe at last. Okay, friends, you are such amazing writers. I want you to try really hard today to set goals for yourself and be really proud of yourself on the things that you are doing well at. And hey, find evidence in your book. Now, that might look like I have these fancy Post-it notes, but you don't have to have fancy Post-it notes. You could have a marker that you go through and you put little happy faces or little check marks or stars next to the places where you did the things in your checklist. That is going to show me evidence. Now remember, I know you guys work super hard on your rough drafts. You always do this. You are always surprised that you have to rewrite your story. So remember, you can mark up this, and if you did it, if you made it super pretty and you're kind of upset that, oh no, I'm gonna have to change it and Miss L wants me to mark up what? Yes, I want you to go through and you can make all those pretty pictures again. You guys have time to do this. It's okay. So I want you to make the changes and do that on your papers because it's super important. And then later we'll rewrite it. Okay, we're starting to do the editing, right? We're starting to make our writing better so that we can get a book ready to publish, okay? But we're not ready yet. Is a writer's work ever done? No, it's not. It keeps going and going and going and going and going and going and going. Okay, I love you. Bye.